Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to show you how I like to transplant our trees from one small pot to a bigger pot. In this case, it's going to be a 5-gallon peach tree. This one is a small peach tree. It's a tropical snow, and there's already fruit on here. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fruits. We'll be getting some fruit this year. Anyways, how do I like to transfer? I like to keep them in the pots from small all the way up to bigger pots. That's a 5-gallon. This here is a 15-gallon. You can see the size. And then I'll keep it in here for about another year, a year and a half. From there, I then upsize it to a 28.5-gallon pot, which looks like this. And you can see the big difference here. The reason why I like to upsize the pots gradually, it's because several different reasons. One, I like to baby the trees. Trees at a young age are very delicate. So if it gets too cold, I could bring them under the patio cover. I could put a blanket over it. If it gets too hot, the same thing. I could put a shade cover over it. I could bring it under the patio, whatever the case is. I could take really good care of them. Also, it allows the roots to fully develop in a compact manner so that when you're ready to eventually transplant it into its permanent location, you have a really good, strong root base. That root base, once it's nice and strong and fully developed, no matter where you put the tree, give it a couple weeks, the roots are going to expand into the soil and the tree is going to take off great. I promise you, you will not be disappointed with that way of taking care of your trees and the whole transplanting process. So let's get to it. Basically, what I like to do is I like to use a mixture of raised garden bed, native soil, and construction sand. It's construction washed sand. I put it in a wheelbarrow, I mix it all up. I put a little bit of amendments such as triple 15, not too much, just a little bit inside the mixture. Mix it all up and then start the transplanting. This is what the construction sand looks like. So it's washed construction sand. I like this instead of gravel. I feel that the roots work better through this and it helps drain better. So basically what I like to do is, this has already been pre-mixed, but basically what I like to do is get a little bit of soil and put it in the bottom of the pot first, right? Just enough. And again, this is already pre-mixed with the raised garden bed soil, a little bit of native soil, very little because I have hard clay soil, and mix it with the construction sand, washed construction sand. The construction sand, I like to buy it in bulk, the 1,000 pounds big construction pack instead of the small individual ones. The small individual packs are like $5. You could really do one pot, but if you do the five or the big sack, which is 1,000 pounds, it's like $32, and you could do 50 pots, and it's well worth the trip to Home Depot, Lowe's, and pick it up. Anyways, put a little bit of dirt inside here. Let's put our tree in to just get a measurement of see where the soil level is. We want to make sure that the top of the root ball of this existing container is going to be at level with the new soil that we put in. Okay, so this looks about right. It looks about good. So now I could take this back out and work on removing this root ball from this small container into there. So what I like to do is I like to hit it a little bit. It's always good not to water for a couple days before doing the transplant. And the reason why is because when it's wet, like in this case, it's actually a little wet. It's a little too wet in my opinion, but I'll still move forward. When it's wet and you pull it out, the dirt just falls off. Versus when it's dry, the roots are holding all the dirt together and the whole thing pulls out really easily in one big spot. So let's keep going. And this should come out nicely. Okay, so here we go. Now here we could do two different things. You can mix the dirt up or move the roots around a little bit. I don't really have to do it too much, but just a little bit on the side. I like to massage it. Massage it a little bit just to open up those roots a little bit, get them a little loose, not too much. Okay? Shake all the dirt off of you that fell on you. Now that it's where it needs to be, we're going to backfill a little bit with our soil. The soil level that you want to put is going to be, I like to shake it like this, is at the same level as the original pot was, okay? You don't want to go too low and you don't want to go too high. The reason why you don't want to go high is because you don't want to have your dirt on this stem, on the branch, on the bark right here, the main stalk, because once this gets really wet and saturated, you could get fungus growing off of this. Eventually it will kill off the tree. So you always want to make sure that you're right at that level. One way of doing it is I like to shake it so it settles all the dirt down. Also by watering it, it pushes the air down and compacts that soil the right way. So this actually worked out perfect. It's just enough. You can actually take off a handful. All right, now that you're in, we're going to water it. What I like to do is water it, but not with just simple water. It's going to be filtered water from the garden hose. This way you remove all the harsh water from the, from the water. Hard water, trees don't like it, just like on the water spot on your car. Those water spots end up on the roots, making it hard for the tree to uptake any water and nutrients. So using a small little $30 filter, I think they're like $10 maybe, $30 for 3 or 4 of them you could buy online. Attach it to your garden hose and water all your trees and vegetables, fruits, all that good stuff. And you'll see a huge difference, especially with avocados. It eliminates leaf tip, brown leaf tips, and the leaf tip on the avocado dies off. This water filter, removing the harsh chemicals, the harsh salts from the water, allows the tree to thrive a lot better. So when watering this, now that we have transplanted it, we're going to use a Super Thrive. It's literally 2.5 milliliters per gallon, or a half a teaspoon per gallon. I put about a gallon and a half, 2 gallons in a pot this big, so a little bit at a time, so that the water fully is absorbed into the soil. And with the Super Thrive, it's which I'm not affiliated with that product, but it's a really good product that I enjoy using. It helps eliminate some of the stress from transplanting, because I took it out of its home that it's been in here for a year, and I disrupted the roots a little bit. So with the Super Thrive, it's going to eliminate a little bit of that tree transplant shock. So I would love to help any tree recuperate faster. The faster it recuperates, the faster it's going to grow into a larger tree, into its larger pot. Again, I'm going to keep it into this pot. You could keep it in here for another 4 years realistically, but I like to keep it in here for another year, maybe a year and a half maximum, 2 years, and then I'm going to go with a much larger pot. From here, same thing, 2 years, and then into a raised garden bed or directly into the soil. I like to use the raised garden beds simply because in this yard right here, I have heavy clay soil, and nothing likes to grow in heavy clay soil. All right, let's put some water with Super Thrive on it. So I like to use this 2-gallon watering jug. This is the Super Thrive, very small bottle. It's only 4 ounces, but you need very little. In fact, I use one of those syringes that come with Tylenol for kids, and it has 1 to 10 milliliters. And a half a teaspoon is about 5 milliliters. So about half of the syringe, and it's good for 2 gallons. So shake it up, open it up. It fits perfectly inside this container. And let's see here. Yep, I have about 7, so I'm going to take some of it out. And 5 milliliters. Squeeze it right into our container. Put this on the side, cap this off. You don't want to let this spill because it's actually pretty expensive. Fill this up to 2 gallons with filtered water. And then we water. We water a little bit at a time. So put a little bit of water and then let it sit there, let it drain out. Wait a second. It's already down, right? So give it another shot. And then let it sit there for a minute. Now, the reason why this is draining really fast is because I used construction sand. All the trees love fast draining water, soil. No trees want to stay saturated in the dirt, right? In water. There you go. If you have a hard clay soil like I have in my yard, you water it, the water will stay in the pot for 3-4 days before it actually gets absorbed. And then when it gets absorbed, it stays wet for weeks. This way, the water is draining very fastly. Having good drainage in your soils and your pots, your yard, your trees are gonna love it. Yes, you have to water frequently, but you don't water too much, just enough. The tree doesn't need lots and lots and lots of water. You just gotta give it a consistent amount. And you know, you could always test your water. So there you go. I put about 1.5 gallons of water, and it's starting to seep out the bottom of the pot. So we know that we have a good water. Sorry about the next door neighbor's dogs. They're going crazy as usual. They see me and they want to come and jump in the pool and help me garden. Anyways, that's where it is. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you use Super Thrive. Let me know how you transplant your trees. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment for me. I'll do my best to get back to you. And enjoy gardening. I'll see you on the next one. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to put some mulch on top of the pot after you're done with the watering process. You could also amend the very top with some triple 15 just to give it an extra boost throughout the growing season. And if you like this video, please hit the subscribe and the ring bell so you'll get notified on the next videos I make, and the like button.